Hello again, students. This video is to help you through homework number 9. So it is Google form and it is found on Google Classroom. All right, so one thing that you will have to do is while it's a Google form, make sure that you have a work page. All right, so make sure you have your name on that and which which assignment this is going to be. All right, then your questions are going to be found on the Google form. Now, there are going to be 11 total questions, and it is multiple choice. You have the possible answers of -5 through +5. All right, and you are going to use each of those answers exactly once. All right, so what you're going to do to start off is please go ahead and sign into your account and then put which block you have your algebra teacher. And then you're going to go to your first question. So it says -2 was the answer to the previous question. We haven't done any previous questions yet, so you can ignore that. And here it says find the value of 3 consecutive integers with a sum of -18. What is the largest integer? All right, so we're going to be solving equations. And I just read this. It doesn't give me an equation right now. I need to come up with the equation first. So I need to translate. This one's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to do this one with you. It says find the value of 3 consecutive integers. So first you have to know what the word consecutive means. So consecutive, if you miss 3 consecutive days of school, that'd be missing something like Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday. One day right after the previous day. All right, so 3 days in a row, 3 consecutive numbers, or 3 numbers in a row. Integers means whole numbers. All right, so we're talking about 3 whole numbers that add, sum means add, to -18. All right, so I don't know what those 3 numbers are, so I'm just going to come up with some possible numbers. So I'm just going to say, hypothetically, what if it's 3 and 4 and 5? Well, obviously that doesn't add to -18. All right, so what if I try -3? Well, -3, the next number after that, okay, isn't actually going to be -4. Actually, if you're getting one larger, you're getting closer to 0. So that would be -3 plus -2 is the same thing as just putting -2, and then -1. All right, so that doesn't add up to -18 either. But what we can do is we can use this to help us get an idea for how we can write an equation. Notice that I just came up with what our first number was going to be. We picked it. It was an unknown value that I just chose. So I'm going to let x represent that first integer. Then we went from 3 to 4. So how do we go from 3 to 4? Well, we took that previous number, which was x, and we added 1 to it. And then to go from 4 to 5, well, it's using the first number that we chose, but then we're really just adding 2. And you can see this fits the case for the negative integers as well. If we start off with -3, -3 plus 1 is -2, and then -3 plus 2 more is -1. All right, so what we can do is we can use this to write our equation. All right, so we have x plus 1 plus x plus 2. So we're going to find those like terms. X plus x is really going to give us 3x. And then the whole numbers, the numbers without any variables, the constants are +1 and then a +2. So that would give us +3. So 3x plus 3 would represent our 3 consecutive integers. And it said that they sum, so they add up to equal -18. So now what we've done is we have we have an equation that we can work through. We can solve it. So we're going to split the left-hand side from the right-hand side. We find our variable. It's being multiplied by 3, and we are also adding 3. So we get rid of the addition first. So we'll subtract 3 on both sides. Those will cancel out, leaving us with 3x equals. And then on this side, we have -18 minus 3, same sign, so we add, and then they keep the same sign, which is negative. Then we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get rid of the multiplication, and we get that x equals -7. All right, so remember that was our smallest integer. So we just got our smallest integer was -7. Then the next integer after that would have been -6, and then the next integer after that would be -5. All right, so -7 plus -6 would give us -13, minus 5 more is in fact -18. All right, so then what I'd do, so I'd have all of that on my work page, just like I do here. So please make sure that you copy that down. This is question number 1. Then over here, it says, what is the largest integer? So here are my 3 integers. The largest one, since we're in the negatives, the one that's closest to 0 is -5. So I'd click -5, and then I'd hit next. And then on the Google form, it's going to give me my next question. So it says -5 was the answer to the previous question. Had I chosen something else, so had I chosen -4, and then hit next, notice it now says -4 was the answer to the previous question, and it takes me to a different next question. All right, so there's a correct path that you should be completing this Google form. By the time you have finished this Google form, you should have answered 11 questions. And again, each of those questions will have the answer choices of -5 all the way through 5. You're using these answer choices exactly once. So once you've used it, now I'm not going to use -5 again. All right, so you can use that to your advantage to help eliminate some of the other choices to kind of help guide you through this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then here's my new equation. And so then what I need to do is I would need to put this onto my work page. So question number 2. And then I would go through and I would solve this equation. All right. Go through, sorry about this, and I'd solve this equation. All right, so here's that equation that question number 2 gave me. All right, so I would split. Okay, I don't need to translate on this one. It's just giving me a rather challenging equation to solve. So I'd split my equation. Here's my left-hand side. Here's my right-hand side. I'd cover this up, and I'd see 10 plus 2h minus 7. I have like terms. 10 minus 7. Okay, those are both constants, so I'm just going to combine them. I only do opposite if I go to the other side. So I'm going to take 10 minus 7, which would give me positive 3. And then I still have to write my plus 2h. And then on the right-hand side, I'll do the same thing. I have 6 minus 4h minus 3 plus 4h. So my 6 and my minus 3 are like terms, so I'll combine them. So 6 minus 3 would give me 3. Negative 4h plus 4h. Negative 4 plus 4 gives me 0h. I don't need to write plus 0h. That means nothing. All right, so now I have this new equation. Okay, I have h over here on the left-hand side. It's being multiplied by 2, and we are adding 3. So the opposite of add 3 would be subtract 3. So I'd need to subtract 3 on both sides, and that would give me 2h equals, these eliminate. Now, remember, if your variables eliminate, that's when we get infinitely many solutions or no solution. These weren't variables. These were just constants. 0 is still a number. So we still continue on. We get rid of h, or we're keeping our h where it is. We're going to get rid of the operation with h, which is multiply by 2. So the opposite of multiply by 2 would be divide by 2. So on both sides, we're going to divide by 2, and we're going to get that h equals 0. All right. So that was another one of my answer choices. I knew this answer couldn't be -5 because I already used it. Now my answer is 0, so I'm going to click on it, and it's going to take me to my next question. Again, if I clicked on something else, it would take me to a different question. All right, so then on my work page, I would put down what this question is. All right, so I'd write down this new equation, and I'd work through and solve it. I know right now that the answer cannot be -5, nor can it be 0. All right, so it's going to be one of those other options. All right, so you're going to keep working. You're going to keep doing this. And again, by the time you finish, you should have answered 11 questions using these answers exactly once. Now, this is very important. If you do not have time to finish this right now, you can either leave this tab open, but if this tab accidentally gets closed, your work might not save. So please make sure that you have your work page. Here's another option for saving what you already have in the Google form. I already completed those previous 2 answers. So what I can do is I can just keep clicking next. So I don't have to pay any attention to what I have up there. All I need to do is get to the end. So I can hit next until I get to one where I can hit submit. So here's one. I can hit submit. You get to edit this response as many times as needed. All right, so if you want to get back into where you were previously, you can edit your response. It'll take you to the beginning, but your previous answer choices will be saved. Another option is at this screen, you can click View Accuracy. And if I click View Accuracy, notice that the first question, what block, that's not graded. That's not important, only to help us sort your responses. All right, but the first question, okay, notice that it is in green, which tells me that I did get the correct answer. All right, this one, I also got the correct answer. But everything else that I did not answer, it's showing up as red, telling me that I was incorrect on those. All right, so then I just click off of this and I can go to edit my response and I'm back to where I was before. All right, so that is homework number 9. Make sure that once you have finished this Google form successfully and you have an 11 out of 11, telling me that you got all 11 of those questions correct, you then go back to Google Classroom and you take pictures of your work page and submit those on Google Classroom.